Hello Total War gamers, my name is Deacon and welcome to my Total War channel. Now, will you play the Mortal Empires campaign? That's the question I'm going to try help you get answered for yourself as we play through this little review campaign series with Tyrion and the High Elves in Warhammer II, Mortal Empires. So hopefully we're going to have lots of battles and loads of fun as well. Do check out my other Warhammer 2 series. I have a bunch of multiplayer battles. I also play Third Age Total War if you like fantasy. There's the Medieval 2 mod that gives the Lord of the Rings universe. And there's also tons of historical games in the mix as well. Now, if you indeed do like Total War kind of content and you're not yet subscribed, give this video a like and take a moment to hit the subscribe button. So I'm gonna give you a second to do that actually. Subscribe, and in the meanwhile I'm setting a timer for myself because I want to make these videos about half an hour long or so. I've played the Total War series since its inception with Shogun in the 2000s. Since then my estimate is I've easily clocked over 10,000 hours playing these games. And therefore, I think you can trust me to point out the things about the Total War games in general that you'd want to consider for yourself as well. Including Arena, which I think is a Total War game. I have a series on that as well. And I like to do discussions and review and, well, give opinions. However, in this case, if you like discussing, feel free to join in my Discord and discuss with me, or comment down below. Those are ways for you to participate. I like to make a review an interactive thing, and rather than giving you a single review video with the complete breakdown of the entire campaign, I want to do episode after episode and just keep discussing the game as we continue. So I think if you stick around, watch this video till the end, you should be able to decide for yourself how much you like the Mortal Empires, so the words are difficult, the Mortal Empires campaign. And also at the end of the video I will ask you your opinion about how you like it. So I'm not going to judge, I'm not going to rate, the judgment is yours. Now, if you're planning to play Mortal Empires or with a certain faction at all, then please do leave a comment down below and let's get the chat started. And now let's review Tyrion, as his starting position is changed a little bit. At least the additional starting units have changed. We now have White Lions of Grace, Silver Helms and Ithamar Chariots. There's still reduced upkeep for Spearmen, Archers and Silver Helms, so it's like the first tier of units that he pays less in upkeep for, and we'll see we can further reduce that with traits in, well, not traits, abilities, skills, skill tree, tech tree, whatever, with Tyrion. So we should be able to field very cheap tier 1 armies basically. And we have faster recruitment, and then as the race we still have intrigue at the court, so this has carried over from the Vortex campaign into the Mortal Empires campaign. We still get line of sight with trade agreements, and we still have martial prowess. So in terms of race attributes, the Warhammer 2 races had some very nice ones introduced, and if you compare them to the ones in the base game, it may actually put us a little bit ahead of them. We're playing at the hard difficulty and also battles at hard. And usually play at very hard everything. But these series in the Mortal Empires, I'm just gonna focus on review discussions, focus on having fun. And as I'm doing commentaries live along with the gameplay, I'm just not gonna try and push for the most ultra uber power gaming kind of game style. So here we go, Tyrion, let's crack on. There's no campaign introduction. If you compare to the Warhammer Vortex campaign, then you get the race introduction to the Vortex campaign. Now in this instance they've been totally cut out for all the factions. So the Warhammer 1 races along with Warhammer 2 races, they both skip any cutscenes and just cut right to the chase. You do, however, get this White Raven, the three-eyed White Raven advisor, who has carried over also into Warhammer 2. And he's gonna do a little review, fly over the map, and then point out what is important there. Now let's read this little thing, because it's about the only thing we get. The High Elves, the Asur, are no strangers to war. Although they would prefer to live in peace, the other petty and infuriating races seem destined to tread the path of wanton bloodlust. Even if this was not so, there is a dire threat growing in the north. It is clear that the Asur can no longer ignore goings on beyond Ulthuan's shores. The Phoenix King has entrusted Prince Tyrion, the War Council's leader, to unify Ulthuan and bring the world under High Elf protection. Now, what I do like is that there's some kind of context being created for Tyrion to go and basically consolidate borders everywhere and move to the defenses of what is good and pure in the world, I guess. That's how I picture it. And in my campaigns, if you look at my Third Age campaigns, I try to stay in tune sort of with the Tolkien lore, and of course we have Warhammer lore as well that typifies certain races. For example, the Wood Elves, they wouldn't really go outside Athelorn and conquer the world. It's actually a very un-Wood Elfy thing to do. And also if we consider the High Elves, they kind of kept to themselves, and they're mostly the defensive race. As it says, they're no strangers to war. They prefer to live in peace. So it needs some backstory for Tyrion to go into a Mortal Empires campaign and kind of like paint the map, conquer the world. This has to be to the protection of the good and peaceful, pure kind of things in the world, and defend against all the bloodlusting races like Chaos, the Dark Elves, I suppose, and the Greenskins, the Vampires, if we're discussing bloodlust. So then it makes sense. And then, as much as Orion doesn't really have an incentive to go outside of Athelorn, Durthu actually did have incentive in the past to move out through the...
Glory to you, Prince Tyrion, mightiest of the Asur, gatekeeper of Ulthuan. The Druki threat is at your very door. Etain is occupied. You must purge this menace. You are not alone in your fight against the insidious Druki. Other Asur houses inhabit Ulthuan. They could be allies, or foes, if you will. Nagarond looms, sending constant threats against Ulthuan. Even now, they establish footholds within sacred lands. Others of your kind will surely fight back, but can they be trusted to succeed? The inner and outer kingdoms must unify, but beyond the shores of Ulthuan, where should the mighty elves go? The question is put to you, Tyrion.
Oh, question is put to me. So, let me finish my last comment. Durthu has saved one of the offspring of, what's his name? The founder of the High Elf Kingdom, Astarielle. He escorted her through the world routes to Athelorn, and he kept her safe there. So Durthu has been known to mingle into the world politics of the Warhammer world in the past. So for him it's actually not so strange. So I'm gonna play to that in Durthu Mortal Empires campaign as well. Now the Vortex campaign was very much more than this Mortal Empires campaign. Story driven. We do not have the Vortex mechanic, the Vortex victory conditions. We do have the racial traits that we reviewed at the game start. But in terms of missions, this is going to be, as this is what I expect, a whole different game. We're now ordered to occupy, loot, raise or sack 4 different settlements. And the map has changed. There's no longer a settlement here. Let's see if I can mute Discord here, because people just keep chatting and talking. So that should shut it up. Now I do notice there's slight hiccups in the graphics. And on my previous campaign I have
standing by.
I had a graphics mod. Now here it is. Oh, this is Tyra. Let's rename you. I think Tiara is just better. Anyway, go sit with Tyrion, replenish troops. Sure. Let's go into Lodern.
Inspecting the garrison.
And let's train troops. We have 1 unit of spares, 1 white lancer craze, 2 archers, silver helms and chariots. So we need 2 more archers and then a spearman, 2 spearmen and then an archer. And our economy will be able to sustain that. So then again 2 archers and a spare. Okay. So there's not even a mission that tells me to construct a certain type of building or anything. The provinces have changed. So we now need the Shrine of Assyrian to complete our own province. Vol's Anvil is in here just with Thor's at high. So that's that. Diplomacy. Caledor, they used to hate our guts in the previous campaign. This is a fully, completely, totally unmodded game.
Very well.
I was using some mods in the
most astute.
The previous
Defender of the Phoenix Throne.
Not even
I will receive your petition in the name of the Phoenix King, as you say.
And maybe the fact that we are only playing on hard is,
as you say,
affecting us here. Could be.
Your behest. You have a proposal for the Assur.
Yeah.
How delightful.
I would.
Gladly.
They're not at war with any of the High Elf factions right now. So.
Dreadlord, awaiting command.
This is Sildrator, and they're like only mediocre with us, which is really strange.
How can I assist you?
Kathik. Are we at war with Kathik?
Your wit and wisdom will be a welcome
distraction.
Sit, please.
I would want peace with all my high elf friends. Come on.
How can we be of assistance?
Yeah, sure. Trade is wonderful. And now, please non-aggression.
I think not.
Maybe later. Maybe later. Safari, they were my best buddies in Vortex Campaign, and now they're hating my guts. How strange.
For what purpose do you defile this court with your presence?
I defile? Come on, I'm Tyrion. I'm like the. I'll be the new Phoenix King. Anyway, let's recruit a couple of turns. Oh, research maybe. We need buildings maybe. The rally field. So I'm gonna have to have a rally field in order to construct stuff, and that's gonna be tier 2, and I'm gonna have to get tier 1, and I cannot build because I do not have sufficient funds. I do have 1 population surplus, so all my money is in the troops right now. Is it? I think it was, yeah. So we can upgrade actually, so let's do that, and then in 2 turns upgrade that. So, end turn. So basically we need to conquer everything to protect everyone. And that means protecting the civilians, because we're just gonna plant our banner everywhere. I had a mod for the new banners. I like the modded banners. So eventually I'm gonna probably try and see what is available for the Mortal Empires campaign and bring in some nice new cosmetics. Now Craze and Scourge of Cain are at war. However, Scourge of Cain has started the war. It is in this instance. Are we at war with Ifres?
Behold the Phoenix
They
Court
know.
in all its splendor and glory.
Wow, we start at war with people we used to be buddies with
Defender of the
in
Phoenix.
You are
previous,
no friend of the Phoenix Court, Traveler.
It's odd and strange and weird and whatever. Diplomacy has always been a strange thing to me in Total War.
I serve the king. Welcome. Your words and
Non-aggression.
deeds futile.
Are we improving at least? Then maybe in a couple of turns. Yeah, we are improving, but ever so slowly. Whatever. Let's just recruit some more guys. Like 2 spares and 1 archer. Wait another turn. Build the building thing. And then move on. This is... they're both minor settlements, not castles, are they? Can I see that, what kind of thing it is? Enemy minor settlement. Enemy minor settlement. Don't know how much that actually says. Doesn't tell me too much.
Protector.
Anyway, end turn. So, then about myself, just a wee bit. I tend to usually play the more like humanoid races, but I do try to show all the races in the game a little bit at least. So if you look at my channel, you will find some Lizardmen and Skaven content as well. Now, oh, we are 1 turn away still. So recruit. What's this going to cost us? 2,000. So I can spend at least another 1,000.
Champion
Oh yeah.
of the Ever Queen.
We're not short of money anytime soon, so let's just complete our roster. Fill it up with 2 more spares, 1 archer. But one thing to really understand is I'm curious about you as a viewer and all my viewers in general. I'm just curious about people, life in general as well. So one of the things that drives me to do YouTube and Discord and also trying to get on Twitch. It's just that the place where I'm staying doesn't really have the kind of upload speeds that allow for twitchy things to happen. Income 60, income 100, growth. Okay, income 100 and growth will come next. Units.
Defender of Ulthuan.
Let's just wait a little bit, tiny bits. So I'm doing it for feedback, the interaction, the comments, the chat. It's one of the things I like about multiplayer. In arena, you don't really develop a lot of conversation with other players. It's 20 people out there, it's all very fast paced, but the multiplayer battles in Warhammer, I picked up quite a good bunch of friends and guys, tear down the citadels and Gariel. Yeah, it's on my things to do list. Don't worry. I'm gonna prioritize army now above growth, so I'm gonna pick up 2 more archers. And then we'll move. So I think for me it's important that you feel that I'm doing this for the interaction with you as a viewer, and if you feel that, then you will also understand that unless there's comments and feedback and interaction, I'm getting less for my efforts, let's put it that way. I do enjoy the fact that people are viewing my videos, and therefore everything I do, I know others are gonna be watching it and to a certain extent will be enjoying it. Okay, I think I'll have to take this before the Illyrian guys do it. So, yeah. I'm hoping I can reach it.
For my queen.
Tuck, 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 tuck.
By assuring.
And We are going into
Bring
battle.
me battle.
I can siege it or encircle it. No, siege. So there's one level 1 lord, 4, 6 spares, 2 bleak swords, 5 dark shards with shields, and 1 regular dark shard.
Sunfang hungers.
So they have 6 archers
Bring me
to my
battle.
more archers and a chariot. So
I am
I'm just
ready
gonna play
to
defensively,
fight.
pull them in once their infantry is engaged, rush them with chariot in their rears, and screw them over. Because that's the idea. So yeah, feedback I like, and discussing with other gamers as well. So if people do start dropping comments, everybody has an opinion, then there's never right or wrong to opinions. It's just an opinion, and that also means being respectful of other opinions. So that is what I hope for any discussion, that they stay kind of civil. And well, one thing I often do wonder, when I look at the viewership, the majority of my viewers are like 24 and above. So there's a good chance that there's Total War veterans in amongst the viewers that have played previous games. I'm going to tone down a little bit my my graphics settings, not because of the pull on the GPU during battles, but the load times, I find them to be a lot longer than in Warhammer 1. Anyway, if you are a Total War veteran, put it out in the comments and introduce yourself. Friend up, subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. And also with subscriptions, it doesn't really do much until you are having you made a habit out of reviewing what your subscribed channels have posted. But I think quite many people don't really take a look at that, and otherwise it means that you need to press the bell button, or you're not really typically notified of anything. Email notifications, however, I think are lame. I always switch them off myself. So here we are, and this is our first battle in this series. It's probably also the last thing we do in this first episode. So I'm gonna not gonna hill camp, but I'm just gonna hill position. I'm gonna arrange my first group like this, a second group like that, then a group like this, then one single unit of spares here, white lions over there, silver helms are gonna go to the right flank once the battle has started. Actually, chariot's gonna do that. Silver helms are gonna be here, noble and Tyrion, and start. No magic. Okay. So I'm gonna bring these guys forward rapidly. And these guys as well. And they're not gonna be in skirmish mode, and nor are these. White lions and crates, move up. Chariot, move up. Silver helms, move up. I do hope they're all on fire at will. Yes, they are. Chariot is not going to go in guard mode. Silver helms are not going to go in guard mode. Tyrion is going to move ahead. White lions. Okay, silver helms crash into these guys. Chariot crash into those guys. Tyrion crash into them. My noble crash into them. And then I have a spare unit of spares. White lions. Chariot, on to the next target please. Silver helms. Oh, they're duking it out in melee quite effectively. So I'm gonna push up against those. League swords are for our white lines of grace. Spares not engaged. So some of them are already routing, which is interesting. There's my noble, come on. Let's put one on Bale, what's his name? Chariot into the center. Spares on those spares. And these spares on the Tyrion. Move up, buddy.
Be done. Archers, Asa, move. Without question.
Noble.
Obeying orders.
Funny thing is we can't really move in fast enough. They're dying so fast. It's almost funny. Almost. Always be careful, buddy, what you say with things like fun. If they're not really fun. For the Ever Queen. One unit is down to 82, which is rather down. And chariots, can you move up a little bit, please? Silver helms down, 5 guys. Tyrion and my noble are gonna go on the, what's his name? Bale, blah blah. Bale Salmon. Bale Salmon. Bale Summon. So we're quite effectively routing them. They have triggered their martial prowess, which is okay. Come on, they are on fire at will, so why aren't you firing? You're not willing? You're not willing to fire. Come on.
As you say. Attack! Defending order.
Urge. Where is my chariot? Put the chariot over there. We've won. Okay, now let's end the battle right away so we don't get any more friendly fire. Generalissimo? What does that mean? What did I do? Okay, whatever. I'm now Generalissimo. I've lost a wee bit. 98 guys, but they will recover because we have just taken a settlement. Now I hope that Illyria is not gonna take the ruined settlement in the lake. But the other thing is, I like, as much as I like to be the peaceful guy and fight the bad guys, confederations, I don't really care unless it is techless. And the rest are not legendary lords, so I can recruit my own lords, probably better ones, because we have the influence mechanic that allows us to recruit better lords. It's one thing to review. Let's take a look at that right away. Right away. Come. You've already convinced me that I need to tweak some settings to reduce load times. And if you're viewing this and you know how to reduce load times, please let me know, because I'd love to reduce the waiting. Not that I'm always have stuff to talk about, like what we are going to discuss in the next episode, and that is one of the things that I want to mention is the lore. As I said, I like campaigns to fit into the lore of the game in general, like in this case Warhammer. If it's a Third Age campaign, it has to fit with Lord of the Rings lore, Tolkien lore. Means I care about lore to a certain extent and degree. Do you? That's something I'd like to have some discussion on. And also, of course, we have the army books of the tabletop games. Are you a tabletop player or gamer or collector? Myself, I'm a collector. I collected over 10,000 points of Bretonia. So that's all sitting in my closet waiting to be painted, and before I turn 65, which is gonna be a while, I hope to have at least some more units painted than I have now. It's on my things to do list. But of course there are ways that the units have been translated into the game. Also choices in terms of editions, which models have been picked for certain types of units. Like for example the questing knights in Bretonia. So obviously I expect people to have opinions on that as well. How you like the way the Phoenix has been done. For example,
The Assur have triumphed.
the Assur have just made 2k in cash. Well, and we've eliminated everything. We've gained a rank, and that animation could go faster.
Search this place.
And we are gonna occupy because we
Find
want it.
lust or battle.
Yeah, he's dead. So, as I was saying, recruiting lords allows us to spend influence for better, and it's still here, that mechanic. So we can get a Hawkeye plus 30% range, Princess, which would be awesome. Awesome. 30% range is like, it's in one word, awesome. So that's gonna be one thing, our one saving grace. This faction should stay put. I don't want them to go into the Shrine of Assyrian or Angariel.
Servant.
That's my province. Stay away. Hush. I can recruit. Oh, I still want a tiny bit more guys here. Like, hey, I thought I had money. Oh, because we're full. All right. Oh yeah. I don't mind. So we need a growth thing building here. No. Is it? No. Cavalry. I need growth. This. Growth. Okay, there we go. And this is more money. More money. That's that. So now let me ask you, are you gonna play the Mortal Empires campaign, or do you have to buy Warhammer 2 to be able to do so? Or maybe the other way around, have to buy Warhammer 1 to do so? Let me know based on this little review if you are more into it, less into it, been ticked off by it. Put your comment down below. There's enough more to discuss in a next campaign review. So this concludes our episode for today. If you have any questions for me, or just questions you want to have asked in general to other viewers, drop them in the comments and I'll take them along in future videos. Thanks for participating in that discussion down there, if indeed you have. Also, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you appreciate my efforts in making these videos, and feel free to share with your friends this cool channel of Total War that you've discovered. It'll make your day. Plenty more coming up. Subscribe now if you haven't already, and see you next time.